In this video we finish up the rear end, get the wheels mounted. We got to cut the quarters some more. Now that it's a lot lower, we're going to start working on that. It's coming. April 12th is opening day. We got a lot to do. The last 2 weeks have been a real shit show. But hopefully we're getting things back together and moving on. Remember, like and subscribe, Side Money Garage. Leave a comment. Cuss us out. Do something. Alright, so we got a couple big nasty tacks on there. We'll weld it good once we get it out of there. Hopefully that'll be happening here maybe soon. Hopefully by the weekend we might have the rear wheels back on this thing. Man, that would be nice. Might have to do some dry shaft work though. I don't know how that's gonna work out. Alright, so we're gonna get this bracket centered like we did that one. And then we're gonna take some measurements and go tack that side on and drill a big ass hole. Alright. Let's see if this works here. We got this side all held into place, measured, ready to tack. So now we're going to tack this one in a couple spots real quick, and then we can drill another big hole. And hopefully we can make this work somehow. Alright, here's the hole on this side. Down there's our tacked up shock bracket. So now, my best guess is I'm going to stick the jack under the pumpkin, jack it up, get some weight on it, to where it just almost starts coming off these jack stands. And then I can mount my front, or not front, I guess, upper shock mounts. I can mount my rods that I measured at 16 inches and see where they come through the floor at and where I need to mount the shock bracket in my shock holder and see how I want to do all that stuff, I guess. This is probably going to have to get moved because I don't think that's going to go where it is, because however we tie that shock bracket, it's got to go on top of this frame rail, and then it'll come all the way across to here. Which means we're going to have to tie the battery in somewhere else, some other way. Which means we might have to make new battery cables. Which is going to suck, because I... one step forward, 2 steps backwards on this piece of junk. And then we'll have to vacuum this all out. Figure out these holes. Figure this out. See what we're gonna do. I think I'm gonna remove that while I'm in here though, just to get that out of the way. Today, did all the Valentine's Day shit with the wife, flowers and all that. This is what we're working on. So we're gonna cut this square. We drilled a hole here, here we're gonna cut it. And that's going to be our box for our shock cross member. This little plate, you're supposed to weld the tube to and weld this to your frame. Doesn't give you a lot of material. I was going to see if I could have somebody bend me a tube and just use a tube. But again, it would just be welded to this little plate, welded to the frame. I don't know. So I got this rectangle tubing, same thickness, and we're going to weld this to the pipe will go in here, weld it around here, weld it down here. When we cut it off, we'll weld it to the floor and to the inner fender, and I think it'll just give us a lot more welded surface. I could be overthinking it, I could be full of shit, I don't know. It's just what I came up with. So right now we're gonna shove that in there and give it a couple cuts. And then we're gonna make another one. So we're gonna cut here, and then we're gonna cut here, and that'll be our piece. So this is what I came up with. We're gonna have that square there. Shock will come through there. We made them holes really friggin' huge. We had a little bit of a problem there. It'll come across, it's pretty level. And it'll come to this one. It'll all be welded all around that, and it'll be boxed in. Shock will come through that hole. We're gonna make some covers for those holes. That'll make it a lot smaller once we get the shock figured out. And then it'll go across to there. So now, I'm gonna tack weld that. Tack weld that. That and that. Then I can take it out and fully weld it. Same as the housing. And then I can make my covers for this. I kinda have an idea. I don't know if it'll work. Most likely it will not work. But I've been wanting to try that. So we're gonna try it. So that's what one side will look like. It'll come across, go to that side. And then we'll make some covers for these gargantuan son of a bitchin' holes I put in the thing. But I think that's gonna work. That'll do exactly what I want it to do. I think. I hope. So now, we're gonna make our covers. We're gonna take this rod out, so this crossbar, so we can fully weld it. Clean up where we're gonna weld it. Box the ends of that square tubing. And make some covers for these plates. I have an idea, like I said, I don't know if it'll work. It probably won't. I don't have much luck with that kind of stuff. And I think I'm gonna cut this little bracket out right here, because I don't see what it'll do. That's what the lower mount will look like. So I think it'll work. Once I get everything fully welded, I'll be able to take the housing out, clean it, fully weld it. Paint it, fully weld this bar. And we'll paint the middle of this bar so that when we put it in, it's painted all the way around. And I think we'll have it made. So now I'm gonna clean up a little bit, get some of this shit out of here, so I can start making my patch panels that I wanna make. I like it. I think it's gonna do exactly what I need it to do. It'll move. It'll do everything I need it to do once it's affixed in. Perfectly. Alright, let's make some patch panels for here. And this is a huge asshole. So this is some fucking doo-doo we're doing here. I'm gonna try to make fiberglass panels. Never done it before. I stuck some metal foil tape shit I had laying around down there, double thickness. We did this side. Now I gotta come up with something so the grease, well, so the fiberglass doesn't stick to that car. I'm gonna coat it with grease, to be perfectly honest. Both squares will be coated with grease. Then hopefully the fiberglass doesn't stick to it. There it is. They're both all greased up. Not 100% sure if this idea is gonna work or not, but we're definitely gonna try. So next, we're gonna mix up some resin, and then we're gonna start laying down some fiberglass and see when it gets hard if we can get it off in one piece. I'm sure somebody knows how to do this correctly, but that's not me. This is one fuck of a mess though. I can definitely tell you that. Well, it's Saturday. We're calling it a day. Look at that. Those are for our shocks. Our fiberglass job did work. Here's my 2 pieces. All I gotta do is clean them up and paint them and make them attach. First, I gotta get that thing welded in. I got a lot of grinding to do there because I'm not a welder. But that thing is ready to go in. We didn't work on the truck today. It's Saturday. We worked on the Falcon, so tomorrow, Sunday, I'll work on the truck. Got the shock brackets all welded in the housing. We gotta clean it up and paint it, clean the inside of the housing out, and it's good. Kyle got a little present right there. He throws tools. He's happy about that. Look at him smile. Fucking nerd. But it's coming. Tomorrow, we're gonna work on the truck. Me and old Kyle start laying some exhaust. Those wires and stuff so we can start getting this truck done. Kyle's got a hot date tomorrow, so he's only working a couple hours, and I'm going to look at a little trailer. But we did make progress today. Day after Valentine's Day. Chopping up a Falcon. Remember, like and subscribe, Side Money Garage. Alright, so right now we're going to weigh our shock crossbar. Keeping track of all the weight we add or take off. So this little guy is about 5 pounds. We're adding about 5 pounds with this. Whoa. Alright, so next, we're going to get underneath the Falcon and we're going to cut off the cross member for the, what do you want to call it? Ladder bar cross member. It is now, I don't know what day it is. Wednesday. Yeah, it's been too dang cold in Northeast Ohio to do anything. For me, at least. I hate the freeze, and it's freezing in this garage right now. I got all the heats going, and I'm froze. I mean, it's cold. Really cold. Like teens, 20s, something like that. Oh, I got a thermometer in here. I can tell you what the temperature is in here. It is right now up there 44 degrees. But that's not the one that counts. This is the one that counts. The floor 36 degrees. The floor is 36. 35 there. That's the temperature that counts to me. It doesn't matter what the ceiling is. The floor is what counts. The floor is 36 degrees. It's cold in here, real cold. It'll warm up pretty quick. I got the heat on. It doesn't take too long. In the evenings, I don't get a lot done because it takes so long. You know, I only come a few hours after work. But right now, we got the rear end housing painted blue. It's setting back in the car, ready to bolt in. Before we do that, we're gonna attempt to figure out how to get that cross member off. Just like everything else on this piece of junk, thing escalated pretty quickly. I got in here cleaning the tar and stuff off of there. And we had this problem. When we were putting the shackles on, we pounded up on the floor. There was a lumpy spot looking thing. And it was a piece of Duraglass. And I just ground it all out and got to fix a hole in the floor now. So if you come over here, I do believe somewhere up here, well, the piece that I took out, yeah, right here is the patch that came out of there. Some sort of aluminum job. I think I Duraglassed this in there when we were getting ready for the Midwest drags, I think. My patch might still be in there though. I patched it somewhere and I think that was it. And I think I gummed it up right there, I think. But here nor there, it popped out and didn't hold. Which I knew it wouldn't, and I knew I'd be in here eventually. So I'm in here now. So now we're gonna fix that. That's not very pretty. Not at all. So in order to fix that disaster, on the inside of the cheese truck, the inner fenders are for a Bronco. 79 F150 or 65 F100 inner fenders are like $300, $400. So I bought these inner fenders, 66 to 77 Wilwa housing. They have a lip just like that. And I do have a bead roller over there, but I don't have the dies to make a bead that good, that big. And I'm not even sure if I could with that thing. So I took my Bronco piece, cut it off where I needed it, took a big chunk out of the middle so that I can weld it back together and make what I need. So that'll go be butt together just like that, and it'll fit in my hole. So right now I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm just going to tack them together on the back side, back here like so. Butt them together, tack it, grind it, tack it, grind it, until I get what I need. It's not the easiest way, but for me right now, it's the fastest way. And it's definitely not the right way. Okay, let's go, whoa, let's go over here, see what the hell we got going on. Here's our patch. We gotta cut all that mumbo jumbo out and weld that in. Hopefully this weekend, that's what we'll be doing. We've got a little air hole there and one right there we probably tack up. But it's not too bad. It's not perfect. Race car problems, it'll be okay. We'll cut all that monkey mess out and we'll weld this in. We'll put a little Duraglass around it. It'll be good enough. It ain't gonna be good as new, but it'll be good enough. I want to weld this in while I weld that crossbar in. It's just done. Then I think there's some more muck right there. We might clean up and see what's there. I don't know. That's pretty nasty looking. We might make a new panel for there. I doubt it though, because the battery goes there and stuff. But goal by the weekend, by Sunday night, I'd like to have the axles and everything back in this car sitting on the ground with this done. No gas tank, because I got to make a new hitch and stuff. And I'd like to have the exhaust done on the government cheese truck. So that's the plan for this weekend. Which will be next video. This is going to wrap up this video, I think. Sounds like a plan to me. Alright, our suspension is in. Axles, brakes, and center section. Dry shaft. Shop's a wreck. It's been a fuck of a day. But the trunk's all back together. Doesn't look too bad. It'll work. It'll do what we need it to do. We're headed back together. Getting ready for spring. It's coming. Well, next is the axles and the brakes and the center section and drive shafts. We have to weigh a bunch of stuff. I've been weighing everything. See how it comes? But the rear differential is back. The housing, the shocks, the suspension is back on. That's what it's going to be. Alright, we're back in the shop. It's Wednesday. I was sick over the weekend. Had some crazy virus. I was bad. Like, went to the hospital bad. We're back in the shop finally. We're going to get the rest of this ladder bar cross member out of here. It's pretty jacked up under there. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but I don't know it. So let me get a light and show you what's going on underneath this thing. So we cut the cross member. Out of here. But there's still these pipe pieces hanging down right there, driving me nuts. And I don't know why, I just don't like them. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get that out of there. I cut that side with the Sawzall. I'm probably gonna cut this side in half with the Sawzall. And I guess that'll be it. I might cut the rest of it off, I don't know. Whoever welded those in, they welded the snot out of them. But we're gonna finish cutting it off. So let's get that out of there and then we can move on. Probably just gonna cut it in half. We might try doing a little more. I don't know. Alright, here's our old center section. It is a 4 to 8 inch factory housing, factory pinion support. It's a posi unit with Richmond 355s. I believe it's a Pro-Trax posi. Track lock, I believe they call it. And it weighs 40 pounds exactly. There it is, 15 pounds for the aftermarket center section. It's a nodular housing. I believe it's a Courier. Aluminum pinion support. And a aftermarket yoke. With billet aftermarket yoke. That's a full spool with a 389 gear. And it's 25 pounds versus 40 pounds for the factory one. So let's see what we can do with that. That's 15 pounds. We are keeping track of all this and we'll go over it maybe in this video, just on differential stuff, what we lost and gained. But so far, that's where we are. Alright, so here we are, at it again. Hopefully, well, we're going to try by the weekend to get this to the body shop. So, today's adventure, yesterday we got the whole differential done. We got to put the brake lines back on, but the axles are in, center section's in, all that good stuff. Next, we're cutting that thing off. We're going to try the plasma cutter. We're just going to try to cut it. Got one on both sides. We got to get a piece of metal or something to protect our shock and stuff, but we're going to cut that bump stop thing out of there on both sides. Then we can start running fuel lines and the battery cables back up here and the exhaust. Get this thing ready to go, get the rear quarters fixed on it. So that's where I am now. I'm going to set up the plasma cutter and I'm going to try to buzz them off of there. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we're going to see what we can do. Well, there's one. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it worked. So now we're going to go cut the other one out. And then we're getting ready to put the fuel lines and shit back on. We may even try that on that piece of pipe up here. It seems to be working pretty good. I think I'm going to go up and try it on that snubby pipe piece sticking out. And if it'll cut that, I'm in there. If it won't, no foul, no harm. So, let's put our shield there. Let's grab our end and see what we can do. I don't know if we'll be able to cut this thing some or not. It may not cut that at all, I don't know. But I'm here, so I might as well try it, right? Let's see if we can cut that thing right there out of there a little better. Alright, it's Sunday. We're working on the Falcon. We got the rear end in. We gotta fill it up, hook up the brakes, hook up the drive shaft. And the ass end is done. It's been a rough couple of weeks with this virus I have, I guess. I don't know what I have, but it's not been pleasant. Then we're gonna take that hitch off and try to redo it a little bit. But it's coming. First things first, we gotta get the breather hooked up and get her topped off with oil. So let's get to work. Here's a list of everything we gotta get done before it goes to the body guy. Today. It'll go pretty quick. Good old Kyle finally showed up. Kids today are just lazy, worthless pieces of shit. He had an excuse. He forgot to set his clock forward. But he's working on the front, and we're going to try not to kill him. Too bad today. He looks a little hungover. He might have been drinking last night or something. So we don't want to wear him out. This is what we got done so far. Let's scratch some crap off. I did some things while I was waiting for Kyle because, well, I really wasn't waiting for him. I was just moving on without him. So, brake line's on, doing the oil now, shock settings in. That's about it. We didn't do a whole lot. Oh, fuel gauge is in. So, we're going to finish putting the gear oil in it. We got our breather and our brake line across there on. It's looking pretty good. Alright, the rear end is officially done. Drive shaft, didn't have to shorten it or nothing. We got to get the wheel wells done. Hopefully this week I can get it to the body guy who's going to do that for me, a buddy. Get them even and get it working. We got to get this rear bumper off. I got to get the trim off the side, which ain't going to be no fun task. So my theory is I'm going to remove the driver's seat, the fire extinguisher, the center console, and try to get my fat ass in the back. Get the door panels off so that I can get the trim out. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. But that'll be the next video. See if I can get my fat ass back there. Not 100% sure if I can or not, but these got to get done. We got the running board brackets made for Kyle's Dodge. We got the front bumper and grill out. My grill is in terrible shape. I mean, it's bad. We bought some of that aluminum rod from Harbor Freight that's supposed to be able to... It won't do nothing. It's been epoxied together. It's broke. I'm trying some metal-to-metal reinforced body filler for metal surfaces with a little piece of rod in it. We tried TIG welding it. I suck at that, and all I did was melt it. I don't know if it's because of the type of metal this is or what. So then we reinforced this with some metal rod and put some of that in there. We're going to let it dry and See if it sticks. It's drying. It's cold, so it's going to take a while. Then we're going to do this one and just work our way down. There ain't much you can't find this grill. They want as much as I paid for the whole fucking car for a new grill. Well, a used grill. I look every day, but they're just not out there. I do have a 62 Mercury Meteor grill at my house. I'm going to see if it'll fit this Falcon. I just thought of that. If it'll fit a Falcon, this Falcon may be getting a 62 Mercury Meteor grill in it. It can't be much worse than this flimsy hunk of shit. Yeah, Kyle, I forgot about that till just now.
Hey,
Well, go ahead, Kyle. What do you got to say, Kyle?
I'm saying go ahead and finish your thing.
Well, it's your turn to talk, Kyle.
I was going to tell you, go over there and check out your cabinet.
Oh,
I got it to where nothing's going to fall out, and if it does, it's on you.
Kyle always thinks he's showing off. He's learning. But we'll see what happens. Here's the underside. That's what our 8-inch looks like. It turned out pretty decent. I'm happy with it. We gotta redo the hitch, but this is gonna wrap it up for this video, I think. I'm gonna go home and cook some steak, spend a little time with Jill. Monday, we're bringing something else home. Monday's gonna be a trip. I might film that. I think I can, so it'll be all right. But it'll be interesting. Stay tuned. The next video will be entertaining. God, this is looking good. Brake line looks a little jakey, but it's on there. That's all I care about, and it ain't coming off. Wow.